republic for which it stands.
One nation, under God.
Indivisible.
With liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And I am back. It is a Wednesday morning, and I am back with Welcome to Gun, the Welcome to Gun series, episode 11. That's turning into a mouthful. And this episode is going to be how to choose an instructor. Now, this topic is something that I've talked about on previous podcasts. Not this one, not since I separated the podcast at the beginning of the year. But, I mean, it's still an important topic to go over. And as an instructor myself, I kind of think, how do people find me? How do people decide to use me when they purchase a gun and they want to take a class? I mean, I'm the longest running a firearms instructor in my area by a long time, by many years. And still, I'm out and about, and I just wonder why people choose me over someone else. And it's kind of how I better my business, is kind of knowing that information there. But let's talk about this here. So you've decided you need to take a class, and that's a great decision. You decide you want to be responsible and move forward and learn how to do this. So how do you choose an instructor? You want a competent instructor, not a fly-by-night guy that's maybe doing it out of his garage or is just you barely heard of. So you want someone competent. Now, depending on where you live, you have a few different options. If you live in like a bigger area, a bigger city, urban environment type situation, there's probably going to be lots of like gun ranges, like indoor gun ranges, big outdoor gun ranges that are organized, that are a private business, right? You could always go to there. You could go to those businesses, and they probably have in-house instructors. If they don't have in-house instructors, they probably have instructors that work for themselves, but maybe use their range to teach some classes. So they might have business cards. They might be able to point you in the right direction. In fact, that's exactly, if I lived in an urban area and I was looking for one, that's exactly where I would go. Now, you can also, and I know this happens around here a lot because I get referrals this way, you can go to just your local gun store, and maybe not necessarily a range, and they'll have business cards, and they probably have someone that they work with or know of. And they can, they genuinely will hear feedback from different customers that they've recommended. And so that's another good source. And another place is, for example, where I live, if you're going to go get your Idaho Enhanced Concealed Carry Permit, you have to take the class and then go and talk to the Sheriff's Department. But when we have, which is one guy that deals with that at the local Sheriff's Department. But when you have someone who doesn't quite know what to do, but they want to get their permit, a lot of times they will actually call the Sheriff's Department first. They will call them. So you might talk to your local law enforcement and say, hey, look, I want to take a class. You guys, this is your line of work to a certain extent. You deal with firearms. Do you have anyone that you would recommend? So that is another good route to go. Now, don't just take the first person that someone throws out, right? You got to be really careful. It might be a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, and this guy's just trying to earn a few bucks on the side. So you do need to do some vetting. I think that a competent firearms instructor that is doing this as his job and not just something to earn a little money for guns, right? You got to be careful about that. Some guys just do this part-time as a little money here or there for firearms. I'm not saying that they're all bad, but when, I would look for an instructor that is doing this because this is his occupation. This is his profession. This is his career, right? Pretty much his livelihood is based off of it. So he's going to be, I was going to say more than likely, he's going to be a better instructor, right? He's going to put his time and his effort into this, right? And I think you want to vet him out a little bit. So before you even talk to him, you could ask around. Have you used this instructor? What are your experiences? What are your thoughts? You could go online. In fact, I recommend that you do go online. See if they've got a website. See if they've put a little work into this. I want to say you don't look for someone who's rolling in the money, but maybe look for someone who spent a little money to further his business, right? That doesn't always mean you're going to get an A+ instructor, but it means that he's got some skin in the game and he cares about what he does. So I would go check his website, see if he has one. Go and check the social media. That's big in the firearms world. As much as they keep their thumb on us, that's pretty good. Check the Facebook page, check the Instagram page, see what they're posting. Not only is this going to help you find maybe a competent instructor, but you can look at multiple instructors through their social media presence and their website presence and all that stuff, and you're going to find one that fits you, because there's different types of instructors. Some of them specialize in the rifle stuff, and they like that kind of stuff, and some of them like the real high speed stuff, the running and gunning. Some of them specialize in teaching someone to do competition, right? Some of them specialize in really advanced stuff. And then there's going to be people kind of like me, right? I can do a little bit of everything, but you got a guy like me who I specialize in more I'm really good at. I don't specialize in anything, I guess, but maybe I worded that wrong, but I'm pretty good at, you just got a gun, you're new, the basics, really getting you pointed in the right direction. I think if you're brand new, that's who you're looking for. Maybe you're not brand new and you're looking for something else, right? But that's why you go to those online profiles, social media profiles, websites, and you see what kind of stuff they're posting. And you see kind of what they're about. Maybe you want someone, you don't mind having someone who's a little bit more militant, will bark out orders, will expect more from you, and maybe be kind of intimidating. Maybe that is for you. Maybe you're brand new to shooting and that's not. And you want someone a little softer spoken, a little more understanding, because there's all different kinds of people out there that are learning how to shoot. And there's an instructor for everyone. You just have to find one that jives with you, that works for you, that is the speed that you want to go. And you're not going to find that unless you do your homework and research and ask questions. And then once you've settled on one or two, and I know people do this to me all the time. Once you've settled on one or two, you get a few there that you're thinking about, give them a call. Talk to them. Talk to them and say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I want to learn. What classes do you have? Do you do private classes? Do you do group classes? Obviously ask how much, and just go with your gut feeling. You're going to get a feeling for them on the phone when you talk to them. And you may also ask questions like, are you insured? Do you have insurance? How long have you been doing this? And a question that I hear quite a bit is, what are your qualifications, right? Are there other students that I can talk to? That kind of stuff. You want to feel them out and make sure they're going to work for you. Just put in the time and effort. You don't necessarily have to go with the most expensive one on the planet. Sometimes you're just paying for what I call the wow factor, right? You're just paying for the wow factor. A lot of different people can teach these things. You don't necessarily want to go with the lowest priced one either, because sometimes you get what you pay for. It's this really fine line. I sounds like I just canceled each other out, but you just got to go with your gut feeling. You got to put in the work. You got to talk to people. And then talk to other people that you see. If you go to the gun range and you've been going to a gun range and shooting, talk to other people there. So, look at someone, maybe they're on your same level of shooting, of abilities, and say, hey, have you taken a class? I'm thinking about taking a class, maybe a good beginner's class, maybe something like that. Talk to them and see what they have to say, because maybe they've got some experiences, good or bad. Do your homework, figure it out. And that's how you vet your instructor. That's how you choose an instructor. Don't just sign up because they look cool on the internet and they look cool on social media and they're super cheap, right? And then on the flip side of that, if they're 3 or 4 times the amount of someone else, that doesn't mean they're that much better than someone else either. You need to call them. You need to get a feel for them. When you're talking to them, make sure that they listen to them. Do they sound like they actually have time for you? Do they sound like they have time to answer your questions? Because if they do, then they really care about what they're doing. And you could get signed up and you can schedule a class with them and you can continue your firearms journey. So there you go. I mean, it's pretty simple. Just vet who you're going to. You should do that with everyone. Mechanics, tire stores, doctors. That's the way you make decisions. And it's the same thing when it comes to choosing a firearms instructor. So, well, I thank you guys all for listening to this podcast. We're just going to wrap it up right now. If it helped you, I hope it did. Fantastic. If you know someone who will help, send it to them. Make sure you share it. I would appreciate that. And I will see you guys back here in a week. Bye.